Hey everyone, it's me Bailey and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be my March TBR. Literally, I am so excited for March. I don't really have very much reading plans or any idea of what I'm wanting to read in March, but I am just so excited for a new month and a new TBR. These are like some of my favorite videos to film, but with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and start with the prompts that are going back into the TBR jar that I did not end up reading in the month of February. So we have 4 prompts that are going back in the jar, which I feel like is pretty good. That's 50%. So what that means that I read 50% of my February TBR in February, which I feel like has been the best that I've done so far this year, which I mean, we're only like 3 months in, so that's not really saying much, but I have 4 going back in. And so the prompts that are going back in the jar are author's name that starts with S, monster romance, bright colors on the cover, and a popular booktube book. So these 4 will be going back into the jar for a chance at another pick in a future month. So I'm gonna go ahead and fold these back up and put them back in the jar and then get to picking my March TBR. All right, so we're gonna start with pick number 1. We're doing 8 picks this time. I might feel a little bit like, I don't know, I might feel a little extra this month and decide to do 10, but right now we're gonna do 8. So we're gonna do our first pick. Pick number 1. Pick number 1 is cursive or script lettering on the cover. So for cursive or script lettering on the cover, I'm going with Unfortunately Yours by Tessa Bailey. This is the second book in the A Vine Mess series, and I was kind of disappointed in Secretly Yours, but I still love Tessa Bailey and I'm hoping that this one is going to be a little bit more up my alley. So I'm super excited to read this and fingers crossed that I can get to it in March. On to pick number 2. Pick number 2 is a paranormal romance. Okay, so for paranormal romance, I feel like this is a paranormal romance, but I also feel like it could also be like a horror romance too at the same time because like there's vampires. But I'm going with The Vampires of El Norte by Isabel Cañas, and I've heard that this book is more romance than like horror, but it has vampires, so I'm assuming that that means that it's going to be like in the paranormal genre, and since it is like a romance, I figured this would probably be the best bet. And it's also a book that I've had my eye on for a while and have been wanting to read, so fingers crossed that I can get to this in the month of March. On to pick number 3. So pick number 3 is a second chance romance. Okay, so for second chance romance, I'm going with 7 Days in June by Tia Williams. This is about 2 writers who write to each other even though they haven't been in contact for years. I know that she is a single mom, but I don't really know about like the love interest or anything, but I've heard that this is like such an amazing book and I'm so excited to read it, so hopefully I can get to it in the month of March. On to pick number 4. Pick number 4 is a historical fiction. Okay, so for historical fiction, I have the literal only historical fiction book that I own, which is Chasing Cassandra by Lisa Kleypas. I literally have no idea what this is about, but I bought it because it was like $3 on the bargain table at Books A Million. So yeah, this is the only book that I have, and I want to say this isn't even like the first book in this series. I want to say it's like the 15th or something. Like it's at least the 6th book in this series. So yeah, I don't know. I really don't even know what this is about, but maybe I will get to this in the month of March. Pick number 5. Okay, so pick number 5 is a Goodreads Choice Award winner within the last 3 years. So that means 2023, 2022, and 2021. So let's look at the winners from these past years, which it's so funny that I got this prompt because I literally just did a video where I read 3 of 2023's Goodreads Choice Award winners, so I know that there are like 3 that are obviously not gonna be on this list, but we're gonna double check and see what I can read for this prompt. So we've got Yellowface, which I did already read, Wayward, The Housemaid's Secret, which is a sequel, Happy Place, which I've read, Fourth Wing, that I've read, Hellbent, which is a sequel, and Lives of Puppets, which I believe is also a sequel. We've got Holly by Stephen King, Divine Rivals, which I've read, Check and Mate, which I've read, Wayward Again, Poverty by America, Britney Spears memoir, The Wager, Being Henry. So those are the winners from 2023. Let's do 2022. Okay, so for 2022, we've got Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow, which I have read, The Maid, Carrie Soto is Back, House of Sky and Breath, which I've read, Book Lovers, which I've read, Sea of Tranquility, Hidden Pictures, The Office BFFs, Atlas of the Heart, I'm Glad My Mom Died, which I did read, Bad Guys, Heartstopper, but this is like volume 4, so that's a sequel. Call Us What We Carry, Lessons in Chemistry, The Final Gambit, which is a sequel, Gallant, and I Am Quiet. And let's look at the 2021. So for 2021, we've got Beautiful World, Where Are You by Sally Rooney, The Last Thing He Told Me, Malibu Rising, which I've read, Court of Silver Flames, which I've read, People We've Been on Vacation, I've read, Project Hail Mary, Final Girl Support Group, Empire of Pain, Crying in H Mart, Lore of Olympus, The Hill We Climb, Firekeeper's Daughter, which I've read, Rule of Wolves, The Spanish Love Deception, which I've read, Daughter of the Deep, The Anthropocene Reviewed, and Broken. So honestly, none of these are really calling to me at the moment. Let's go back to, I think I'm gonna end up doing Wayward by Amelia Hart. I know that I can get this through Book of the Month, so I think I'm gonna go with Wayward by Amelia Hart and see if I like this book. It's also a historical fiction, so I'm definitely interested to see if I'm going to like this book or not. Maybe it's throwing a fit because he cannot come in here. On to pick number 6. Pick number 6 is Author's Name Starts with A. And for Author's Name Starts with A, I'm going with The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston. This was on my TBR for February and I did not get a chance to get to it. So hopefully I can get to it in March. I've heard really good things about this book. I was spoiled a little bit for it, but I still am wanting to read it. So fingers crossed that I can get to this in March. Pick number 7. So pick number 7 is an author you love. So for author you love, I'm gonna go with The Wall of Winnipeg and Me by Mariana Zapata. I have read 2 books by Mariana Zapata and I have absolutely loved both of them, so I have been wanting to read this book for a while and I feel like this is the perfect opportunity, so I'm super excited to read this book and hopefully get to it in March. Pick number 8. I think I am actually gonna do 10. I'm feeling very like hopeful for March, so I'm feeling like I'm gonna do 10 picks for March. So pick number 8, a book you don't know anything about plot-wise. Okay, so a book that you know nothing about plot-wise, I'm gonna go with We Hunt the Flame, and I know nothing about this book. I heard very amazing things about this book, but I don't know anything about it, and I picked it up because it was buy one get one 50% off, and I've been hearing really good things about it, so that's why I ended up picking it up. So this is the book that I'm going to use for this prompt, and fingers crossed that I can get to it in the month of March. Moving on to pick number 9. Pick number 9 is a book you haven't heard many reviews about, and so for this one I'm going with Sign Here by Claudia Lux, and I have not heard really anything about this book. It was a book of the month pick back in October of 2022, so I've had this on my shelves for over a year now and I haven't heard really much about this book, so this is the book that I'm going to use for this prompt. Fingers crossed that I like it, so I don't know, we'll see, but fingers crossed that I can get to it in the month of March. And for our 10th and final pick, honestly I feel like I might kind of want to go for one off the top. Okay, so for our 10th and final pick, we have a title that starts with B, and for this one I'm going with Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. Again, this is one that I do not know much about. I think it's kind of in the same realm as 7 Days in June as far as like a second chance romance type situation, but I'm not 100% sure. But I have heard amazing things about this book and I'm super excited to hopefully get to it in the month of March. Okay, so these are the 10 books that I have picked to hopefully get to in the month of March. I am super excited about all of these books, and I have a really good feeling about March. I feel like it's going to be a really good reading month, so I'm super excited to hopefully get to all of these books in March. If you have read any of these books, I would love to know your thoughts on them, what you rated them, and if you loved them, if you hated them, and any of the ones that you think that I should get to immediately. I would love to hear your thoughts down in the comments. But that is going to be all for today's video. If you liked it, please make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you want to see more content from me. I will have all of my social medias linked in the description, and I will hopefully see you guys in my next video. Bye.